Bonjour, good to see you all today. I have a story for us. And as you can tell, it is Christmas time. It is December when we start talking about different things like being thankful, being happy with our friends and family. We get to see snow. You might hear stories about Santa or elves or reindeer. So today I actually have a story I'm going to share with you. And I will put it right up here. There we go, so you can see it. So this book is really thick. I'm not going to read the whole thing right now. These are just little stories inside of this big book. So if you kind of look, you can see some of the different characters that are going to be in our story, one of our stories. So the first story we are going to read today is called Mickey and Friends, Santa's Little Helper. It was Christmas Eve and all was quiet. Mickey and Pluto were fast asleep when they heard, achoo, achoo, achoo. A chorus of sneezes was outside woke them. They ran to the window to see what the commotion was. Mickey couldn't believe his eyes. Santa Claus was standing in his backyard. Attached to Santa's sleigh were 9 reindeer with bright red noses. And that's funny, Mickey thought to himself. Isn't Rudolph supposed to be the only one with a red nose? Mickey ran outside in his pajamas. "Merry Christmas, Santa," he said. "Is something wrong?" "It's all this sneezing," said Santa. "Dasher was sniffling when we left the North Pole, and now everyone but Rudolph has come down with a bad cold. We all need to get home to bed, but we still have 4 houses left to visit." The reindeer promptly let out another round of sneezes. Achoo, achoo, achoo. They all looked miserable, but what could Santa do? He couldn't leave his last 4 houses without Christmas presents. "Gee, maybe Pluto and I can help," Mickey said. "We'll be happy to deliver those presents for you." "Oh, thank you, Mickey," said Santa. He lifted a huge red sack out of his sleigh. "My gift sack is full of Christmas magic. It will help you make the deliveries." Santa Claus handed Mickey a list of presents to deliver. Then he climbed back in his sleigh, and the reindeer slowly lifted off into the sky, sneezing and coughing all the way. Achoo! Achoo! Mickey pulled his sled from the garage and hauled it over to the giant sack of gifts. He expected the bag to be really heavy, but when he picked it up, it was light as a feather. "That must be the Christmas magic Santa mentioned," Mickey said. "Come on, Pluto, let's finish Santa's deliveries." Here he goes. Pluto grabbed the sled's rope in his mouth. He stepped forward to pull it behind him, and suddenly, Pluto, Mickey, and the sled, they rose into the air. They were flying. "Whoa, more Christmas magic," said Mickey, holding on tight as the sled steered them to their first stop. In no time at all, the sled landed right on Daisy's roof, and Mickey Pluto quickly hopped up. "How do you think I get inside?" said Mickey, lifting a Christmas sack over his shoulder. "Santa goes down the chimney. Should I try?" Pluto nodded, and Mickey walked to the chimney. He leaned over, looked down. Before he knew it, he was sliding right down into Daisy's living room. He landed right on the ground with a thump. "This Christmas magic takes some getting used to," said Mickey as he rubbed his sore backside. Mickey looked over Santa's list, and then he took Daisy's gifts from the giant sack. He had just finished arranging them under the tree when he saw treats Daisy had left for Santa. "I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I ate them, since I'm filling in for Santa," Mickey said happily, munching on the cookies. Mickey quickly filled Daisy's stocking. Then he looked around and up the chimney, and whoosh, Mickey whisked back up into the roof. When he saw Pluto, Mickey realized he hadn't brought a cookie for his friend. Oh, I'm sorry, Pluto. I'll get you a treat at the next house. The next delivery was for Goofy. Mickey had just leaned into the chimney when Pluto grabbed the back of his sack and with his teeth, he didn't want to miss getting a treat at this house. The Christmas magic whisked them both down the chimney into Goofy's living room. Pluto, Mickey said, I promised that I would bring you a... Oh no, look out! Splotting the plate of cookies Goofy had left for Santa, Pluto ran right towards it, but he accidentally brushed against Goofy's tree and it went crashing to the ground. Mickey and Pluto fixed Goofy's tree as best as they could, but it still drooped a little bit on one side, kind of like my hat kind of droops. Mickey checked his list and he got his friend's presents out of the sack. Maybe he'll be so excited about his gifts that he won't even notice the tree, he said. Mickey carefully filled up Goofy's stocking, and then he and Pluto went back up the chimney onto their sled. Mickey and Pluto had to hurry. They spent so long fixing Goofy's tree that they were running out of time to deliver the rest of Santa's gifts. At Minnie's house, Mickey rushed down the chimney. He checked Santa's list, and then he pulled the gifts out from Santa's sack and placed them under the tree and filled her stocking with goodies. And on his way back to the chimney, he grabbed 2 cookies. One for him and one for Pluto. Oh, look at her Christmas tree. When they landed on Donald's roof, Mickey got right to work. He dropped down the chimney, pulled out his list, and he headed straight for the tree. He pulled out Donald's presents from the sack, counted 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, there's supposed to be 4 gifts, but there are only 3 left in the bag. Did I drop one? Mickey looked everywhere, but by the chimney, under the table, behind the chair. He was crouching, looking beneath the steps behind the sofa when Mickey heard footsteps upstairs. Donald was awake. Mickey grabbed Santa's sack and raced to the chimney. The stocking, he cried. Mickey quickly filled his friend's stocking. He had just finished when one of Donald's feet appeared at the top of the stairs. There it is. Luckily, Santa's Christmas magic was waiting. It whisked Mickey right up this chimney seconds before Donald came downstairs. Phew, said Mickey, and he and Pluto flew home. That was way too close. The next morning, the friends all met over at Mickey's house for the Christmas breakfast. It seemed everyone had a different story about Santa's visit the previous night. Santa must have been a little out of sorts last night, Daisy said to Goofy. He left chimneys all over my floor. He's never done that before. I know what you mean, said Goofy. I think Santa bumped into my tree. It looked a little lopsided this morning. He woke me up with all the noise he was making, Donald exclaimed. He's always been so quiet. I almost forgot, Minnie said to Donald. Santa left one of your presents at my house. I'm trying to figure out who Santa was. Suddenly, Mickey realized he had left Santa's magic sack next to his tree. He looked around worriedly, but the sack was gone. In its place was a box with a tag that said, Love Santa. Mickey unwrapped the box. Inside was a beautiful snow globe of Pluto, Mickey, and Santa all riding in the sleigh. Mickey winked at Pluto. No, Santa Claus definitely wasn't himself last night, Mickey said. Merry Christmas, everybody. All right, I hope you guys have a great Christmas too. Thank you for listening to my story today. It's about Santa's little helper, Miigwech. I hope you guys have a great day. Gigawabamin.